The fall of Elysium Prime, the year 2147. Humanity had stretched its fingers across the stars like a child reaching for distant toys. The United Earth Federation, UEF, governed a network of colonies, from the dusty red plains of Mars to the lush, engineered biospheres of distant exoplanets. Elysium Prime was one such verdant world, orbiting a stable yellow star in the Orion Arm. Home to over 2 million souls, it was a beacon of human ingenuity. Towering arcologies pierced the skies, hydroponic farms fed the masses, and fusion reactors hummed with endless energy. Children laughed in zero-grav parks. Scientists unlocked the secrets of quantum entanglement. Miners extracted rare isotopes from the planet's core. But the galaxy was not empty. The Xarath Dominion, a sprawling empire of insectoid conquerors, had watched humanity's expansion with compound-eyed suspicion. The Xarath were a hive-minded species, their queens ruling vast fleets of biomechanical ships. They viewed lesser races as resources to be harvested, biomass for their hives, technology for their arsenals. For decades, diplomatic envoys had danced around borders, exchanging hollow pleasantries while probing for weaknesses. It began on a routine Tuesday. Captain Elena Vasquez, commander of Elysium's orbital defense station, sipped her synthetic coffee as she scanned the sensor arrays. The station, a fortified ring around the planet, bristled with railguns and missile bays. All clear, her exo reported. But Vasquez felt a prickle at the back of her neck. Soldier's intuition honed from years in the void. Then the alarms blared. Hyperspace ruptures tore open like wounds in space, vomiting forth a swarm of Xarath vessels. Not a scouting party, not a Reda, full invasion fleet. Over 5,000 ships, their hulls pulsing with organic veins, descended like locusts. Incoming transmission, the comms officer shouted. The viewscreen flickered to life, revealing a Xarath queen's mandibled face, her voice a chittering hiss translated by AI primitives. Your world is forfeit. Surrender your biomass. Vasquez's response was swift. Go to hell. She ordered the defenses to fire. Railgun slugs streaked through the vacuum, punching holes in the lead ships. Missiles bloomed into fireballs, scattering chitinous debris. But the Xarath were relentless. Their biolasers carved through the station shields, melting armor plating. Fighters droned like swarms, overwhelmed the human interceptors. On the surface, panic erupted. Governor Liam Hargrove broadcast an evacuation order. All civilians to the bunkers. Militia, arm up. But it was too late. Orbital bombardments rained down, plasma bolts vaporizing cities. New Eden, the capital, vanished in a mushroom cloud of ionized air. Families huddled in shelters as the ground shook, parents whispering lies of safety to terrified children. Sergeant Marcus Kane, a grizzled veteran of the border skirmishes, led a platoon in the outskirts. Hold the line, he bellowed, his power armor humming as he fired his Gauss rifle. Xarath, warriors towering, multi-limbed horrors dropped from pods, their exoskeletons gleaming. Kane's squad mowed down waves, but the enemy adapted, their hives learning from each death. A soldier beside him screamed as acid spit dissolved his visor. In orbit, Vasquez's station crumbled. Abandoned ship. She commanded, but as her escape pod jettisoned, she watched Elysium burn. The Xarath fleet methodically glassed the planet, harvesting survivors for their queens. By dawn's artificial light, Elysium Prime was a smoldering ruin. 2 million lives lost. One colony erased. Word reached Earth via quantum relay. The UEF Council convened an emergency session. President Aisha Patel slammed her fist on the table. This is war. But whispers of doubt echoed. Humanity's fleet numbered in the thousands, not enough to challenge an empire. Yet, in the shadows of Saul's shipyards, something stirred, dormant fury, a human resilience forged in the fires of history. The awakening of the giant. Tirth. The cradle of humanity buzzed with controlled chaos. News holograms blared the atrocity. Xarath massacre on Elysium. Billions mourn. Riots erupted in megacities, Tokyo's neon streets filled with protesters chanting retribution. In New York, enlistment centers overflowed. They took our home, a young recruit spat. We'll take their empire. Admiral Thorne Blackwood, head of UEF Fleet Command, stood before the council. His uniform, scarred from past battles, hung on a frame weathered by zero-G. We have the tech, he growled, but we need numbers. The Xarath had underestimated humanity's industrial might. Hidden in the Kuiper Belt, automated factories' legacies of the AI wars lay dormant. These were the forges, vast, self-replicating shipyards designed for existential threats. Activate Protocol Omega, President Patel ordered. The forges awoke. Nanot swarms disassembled asteroids, forging holes from raw ore. AI overseers optimized designs, dreadnoughts with antimatter drives, carriers spawning drone fleets, cruisers armed with singularity cannons. Production ramped exponentially, first dozens, then hundreds, then thousands per day. Across the colonies, humanity mobilized. Mars foundries belched plasma, Venus aerostats harvested gases for fuel. Alpha Centauri's shipyards, once for civilian liners, retooled for war. Engineers like Dr. Sofia Ramirez pushed boundaries. Integrate neural interfaces for pilots, make ships extensions of the mind. Weapons R&D birthed horrors. Viral nanites to corrupt Xarath hives. Black hole generators to swallow fleets. But it wasn't just machines. Humanity's spirit ignited. Volunteers from every walk. Farmers from Terra, Australia's piloting corvettes. Hackers from Luna, cracking Xarath codes. For Elysium became the rallying cry. Spies infiltrated Xarath borders, sowing discord among rival queens. 6 months in, the fleet swelled to 100,000 ships. But Blackwood demanded more. They destroyed one colony. We'll reply with overwhelming force. The forges doubled output, drawing from Jupiter's moons. Corporations poured trillions, profit and peace. But survival first. Ethical debates raged day, sentience. Weapon ethics, but survival trumped morality. Intelligence reports painted a grim picture. The Xarath, bloated with victory, expanded toward other human worlds. They're coming for Proxima next, a scout relayed. Patel addressed the galaxy. To the Xarath, you struck first. Now face the storm. Behind the scenes, alliances formed tentative pacts with neutral aliens, wary of the Dominion. As the armada grew, so did the human resolve. Training simulations turned recruits into aces. Remember Elysium? Instructors drilled. Personal stories fueled the fire. Kane, the sole survivor from the ground fight, toured recruitment drives. I saw my brothers die. Make them pay. By year's end, the tally hit 300,000 warships. But Blackwood eyed the stars. Not enough. Pushed to 700,000. The forges groaned under the strain. But humanity's ingenuity prevailed. One colony lost, but in its ashes, a navy was born. The march to vengeance, the UEF Armada, dubbed Retribution Fleet, assembled in the Oort cloud, a sea of steel and fury. 700,000 warships, behemoths like the UES Vengeance, a kilometer-long supercarrier, nimble destroyers darting like wolves, stealth subs lurking in hyperspace shadows. Admiral Blackwood paced the bridge, his cybernetic eye scanning holomaps. We strike their core worlds. The plan was audacious, a multi-pronged assault. Fleet Alpha would feint at the borders, drawing defenses. Beta would sabotage supply lines with commando teams. Gamma, the hammer, would hit the Xarath homeworld, Hive Prime. End the Queens, end the war, Blackwood declared. En route, morale soared. Crews shared stories around mess halls. My cousin was on Elysium Bastards. Entertainment Hollis played HFY anthem stills of human defiance. Pilots like Lieutenant Arya Chen, a prodigy from Beijing, aced sims. These bugs won't know what hit em. First contact came at the Nebula frontier. Xarath patrols ambushed a scout group, but humanity's numbers overwhelmed. Fire all batteries! Chen's squadron danced through laser fire, her neural link making her fighter an extension of will. Explosions lit the void as Xarath's ships crumpled. Word spread through the Dominion. The primates mobilize en masse. Queens chittered in panic, hives reinforcing. But underestimation lingered. Their fleets are toys. Spies reported human advances adaptive shields, learning from biolasers. Weapons mimicking Xarath acids. Skirmishes escalated. At Gamma Eridani, 10,000 human ships crushed a Xarath armada, twice the size. Their hives fracture under pressure, analysts noted. Captured warriors revealed fractures. Rival queens vied for power, weakened by overextension. Humanity's edge wasn't just tech, it was adaptability. Engineers retrofitted captured Xarath tech mid-battle. Turned their weapons against them, Ramirez innovated. Psychological warfare, broadcasts of Elysium's fall. Twisted to show Xarath cruelty, sowed doubt in allied species. As the fleet neared Hive Prime, losses mounted. A Queen's suicide swarm claimed 50,000 ships, but humanity pressed on. For every one we lose, 10 more launch, Blackwood vowed. Survivors like Kane led boarding parties, his rage a weapon. This is for my squad. Corridors ran with ICHOR. The galaxy watched. Neutral empires whispered, humans. They're not prey. They're predators. Alliances shifted, some joined the fray, bolstering numbers. Finally, Hive Prime loomed, a fortress world orbited by millions of drones. All fleets converged, Blackwood ordered. The stage was set for apocalypse. The Battle of Hive Prime erupted like a supernova. 700,000 human warships surged from hyperspace, a tidal wave of vengeance. Xarath, defenses orbital hives, plasma webs fired in unison, but the onslaught was biblical. Engage. Blackwood commanded from vengeance. Singularity cannons, warped space, sucking in enemy clusters. Drone carriers unleashed billions of AI fighters, outswarming the swarms. Chen's wings sliced through, her voice calm. Target the Queen's spires. Ground assaults followed. Drop pods rained on the surface, Marines in power armor storming hives. Kane led the charge. Breach. Explosives tore chitin walls, troops flooding corridors. Xarath warriors fought fanatically, but human fury prevailed. No mercy, Kane growled, avenging Elysium. In orbit, Queen's broadcast, please. Primitives, we yield. But Patel's response echoed, too late. Viral nanites infiltrated hives, corrupting neural links. Queens screamed as their empires unraveled. Climax came at the Grand Hive. Blackwood's flagship rammed the core. Boarding teams converging. Vasquez, redeemed, fought beside him for my crew. They reached the throne chamber, facing the Supreme Queen, a colossal beast. You. Insect, she hissed. Blackwood's retort, no, we're humans. A barrage ended her. Hives collapsed galaxy-wide. The Dominion fracturing victory was Pyrrhic, 200,000 ships lost, millions dead. But humanity stood unbroken. Colonies rebuilt, Elysium memorialized. The galaxy learned, provoke humans at your peril. One colony lost. 700,000 warships gained. Humanity? Fuck yeah.